On a Wednesday afternoon in late July, the Kansas City Chiefs summer training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri, was humming with its usual preseason buzz. Fans lined the bleachers under the heavy Midwestern sun, hopeful for a glimpse of their gridiron heroes, while the familiar scent of cut grass and grilled hot dogs drifted through the air. It was a day that should have been like any other at Missouri Western State University, the annual pilgrimage spot for Chiefs diehards. But routine quickly evaporated when star tight end Travis Kelce stormed off the field after a heated moment with a teammate, setting off a chain reaction that would ripple through Chiefs Kingdom and beyond. The incident began innocently enough, with red zone drills that pitted offense against defense in a series of high-stakes, full-contact clashes. For Kelce, whose entire career has been defined by a ferocious will to win, these moments were never just practice, they were battlegrounds. Witnesses say the tension crackled as Kelce collided hard with a defensive player, the kind of hit that echoes across the field and makes everyone pause. No one could say for sure who threw the first shove or uttered the first word, but it didn't matter. What unfolded next was both electric and unnerving. Kelce, ever the competitor, shot up from the turf, fists clenched, jaws set, his voice carrying above the din as he let the defender know exactly how he felt. A few teammates tried to intervene, but the situation escalated with a suddenness that left coaches scrambling to maintain order. In a blur, 3 coaches had to hold Kelce back as he lunged toward the defender, frustration radiating from every muscle. The sideline, usually a place of camaraderie and encouragement, became a scene of chaos. Cameras flashed, reporters scribbled notes, and fans leaned forward, not wanting to miss a second. For those who followed Kelce's journey, this wasn't a shocking sight. He's always played on the edge, his passion spilling over in moments of triumph and defeat alike. There have been sideline arguments, tense exchanges with officials, and the occasional thrown glove as a physical punctuation mark on his emotions. In those moments, Kelce is both hero and lightning rod, his fire fueling the Chiefs but sometimes threatening to burn too hot. Yet this particular episode felt different. After the scrum died down, Kelce didn't just take a breather on the sidelines. He was ushered straight to a waiting golf cart, helmet in hand, brow furrowed in a mix of anger and exhaustion. A young team assistant sat at his side, silent and tense, while another staffer drove them away. Behind the cart, an ambulance from Buchanan County EMS lurked, its presence adding a layer of dread. Was Kelce hurt? Was this more than just a clash of egos and adrenaline? The Chiefs coaches, ever the professionals, clammed up. Press inquiries were met with tight smiles and vague assurances. The front office released a short statement, heavy on praise for the team's focus and professionalism, but light on details. The message was clear: whatever happened would be handled internally. But for everyone else, the fans, the media, the NFL at large, the silence only fueled speculation. Within minutes, social media lit up. Blurry photos of Kelce on the cart circulated with captions like, "What's going on with Kelce?" and "Is the season in trouble before it started?" Chiefs Twitter turned into a detective agency, with users zooming in on Kelce's posture, his grip on his helmet, even the expression on his face. Podcasts dedicated emergency episodes to the incident. Sports radio hosts in Kansas City and beyond filled the airwaves with hot takes and wild theories. Some insisted it was nothing, a routine training camp dust-up, the kind that's forgotten as soon as the next practice starts. Others feared the worst, pointing to the ambulance as a sign that something serious had happened. Was Kelce injured? Was there trouble brewing in the Chiefs' locker room? Was this the beginning of a larger problem for a team with championship dreams? The truth, as it turned out, was complicated. In the days that followed, new details began to trickle out. Teammates who witnessed the incident described it as a heat-of-the-moment clash, the inevitable result of pushing elite athletes to their limits. "It's just football," one player told a reporter, shrugging off the drama. "We're all out here competing. Tempers flare. It's nothing personal." Coaches, speaking off the record, praised Kelce's passion while acknowledging that sometimes his intensity needed a little steering. Behind closed doors, Kelce took responsibility. He addressed the team, apologizing for letting his emotions get the best of him and reaffirming his commitment to their shared goals. The gesture was well received, a reminder that leadership isn't just about catching touchdowns, but also about owning your mistakes and setting an example. The Chiefs, true to their culture, moved on. Practices resumed, the ambulance disappeared, and Kelce was soon back on the field, more focused and determined than ever. But the memory of that afternoon lingered, an indelible snapshot of the emotional roller coaster that is professional football. If there's one thing that sets the NFL apart from other sports, it's the raw, unfiltered drama that plays out not just on Sundays, but every day, in every practice, meeting, and locker room. Training camp is a crucible, a place where futures are forged, careers are made or broken, and the line between camaraderie and conflict is razor thin. For established stars like Kelce, the grind of camp can be both a proving ground and a pressure cooker. The desire to stay at the top, to lead by example, to carry the hopes of a city on your shoulders, these are burdens as heavy as any weight in the gym. And yet, that same pressure is also what makes greatness possible. Kelce's outbursts, his intensity, his refusal to back down, they're all part of the package. For every sideline spat, there are countless moments of inspiration. Rallying the team after a tough loss, mentoring young players, making impossible catches in crucial moments, and setting the tone for what it means to be a Chief. His legacy in Kansas City is already secure, but his story is far from finished. As the days passed and the incident faded from the headlines, something curious happened. Instead of fracturing the team, Kelce's flare-up seemed to galvanize it. Teammates joked about the incident, using it as motivation to push harder in drills. Coaches referenced it in meetings, not as a warning, but as a reminder that passion, when properly channeled, is a weapon. Even Andy Reid, the even-keeled architect of the Chiefs' success, downplayed the drama, reminding everyone that football is, at its core, an emotional game. Meanwhile, Chiefs fans found themselves drawn deeper into the story. Some celebrated Kelce's fire, seeing in him the spirit of every underdog who's ever fought for respect. Others wished he'd learned to control his temper, worried that one day his passion might spill over at the wrong moment. But nearly all agreed on one thing: the Chiefs wouldn't be the same without him. As summer gave way to preseason games and the countdown to the regular season began, the Chiefs' focus shifted. New challenges loomed, new opportunities awaited. But the echoes of that Wednesday afternoon remained, a potent reminder of the thin line between chaos and cohesion, between disaster and destiny. For Kelce, the episode was just another chapter in a career already crowded with highlights and headlines. It was a moment that revealed both his flaws and his strengths, his humanity and his greatness. In a league where every move is scrutinized, every emotion magnified, Kelce's willingness to wear his heart on his sleeve made him both vulnerable and unforgettable. And for those who witnessed it, the image of Travis Kelce, helmet in hand, riding away from the field, his face set with determination, became a symbol. Not just of the Chiefs' hopes and fears, but of the beautiful, brutal, endlessly fascinating game of football itself. After all, that's the real magic of sports. It's not just about what happens on the scoreboard, but about the moments in between, the tension, the conflict, the passion that can't be contained. It's about the stories that unfold when the cameras stop rolling, the lessons learned in the heat of competition, and the resilience required to get up and try again. So as Chiefs Kingdom holds its collective breath for another season, one thing is certain. There will be more drama, more adversity, more moments that test the limits of players and fans alike. But there will also be greatness, born out of fire and forged in the crucible of competition. And somewhere in the heart of it all will be Travis Kelce, still fighting, still leading, still reminding us why we watch and why we care. Stay tuned for the next chapter. There's always another story waiting just beyond the next snap.